Nice job, ND-Cube. You finally got one right. Super Mario Party is ND-Cube's best home console Mario Party installment yet, because it has a bunch of fun modes, new characters to the series, and not to mention, has abandoned that godforsaken car. But most of all, a ton of extremely fun and new kinds of minigames that anyone can play and enjoy. Today, I'm counting down my top 10 favorite Super Mario Party minigames. You guys know my modus operandi, concept still contributes to my choices, and this is just my opinion and no one else's. I'm only speaking for myself. Also, psych, that's all. I like a lengthy intro as much as the next guy, but we aren't here for intros, we're here for Mario Party. So, let's party Mario style. Kicking off this list is co-op minigame, Sort of Fun. All 4 players must work together to sort various sports balls by putting them in their barrels. Specifically, Toad will throw a random ball at a random player, and, if necessary, said player must pass it along to the player with the correct barrel so they can drop it in. The team scores 1 point for each time they do so, and you don't really win or lose. Your goal is to break the record. This minigame's concept isn't all that special, but it's nice and simple and just fun to play, and I love minigames that require teamwork, especially ones where every player has to work together. That's all I have to say. Sort of Fun is so fun, it sorts out 10th place. I really gotta get my pun game sorted out. Ninth place is free-for-all Gridiron Gauntlet. All 4 players are in a football field, or rather, gridiron, which several charging chucks will continuously run across. The players must run to avoid being tackled by them. Duh! And the last player standing wins. However, there is a timer, so if more than 1 player is still standing when said timer expires, they all win. This is sounding like a pretty brutal minigame, huh? Well, I guess the players at least have 3 lives, so anyway, this minigame is quite fun and thrilling, and the concept is very original. I just respect minigames with original concepts. It's also nice and simple, while at the same time intense, which is a rare combination when it comes to Mario Party minigames. For those very reasons, Gridiron Gauntlet charges right for 9th place. Eighth place is 2v2 Toe the Line. Each team has their own side of a sewing box with several knitting needles, and each player is tied by a string to his/her partner. A shape will be shown, and each team must work together to move around the needles and make that shape with their string. The first team to do so scores 1 point, and the first team to 3 points wins the minigame. Sorry, that's all there is to gameplay. This minigame is fun and has a very clever, creative, and even cute concept, and it requires strategy and, again, teamwork, which, again, is something I love seeing in video games. Not my problem if you're getting sick of hearing me say that. That's the reason Toe the Line is in line for 8th place. Actually, no, it cut to the front of the line. Coming in at 7th place is free-for-all Sizzling Stakes. Each player is cooking a meat cube over a stove, and must fully cook each side individually. The first player to fully cook all 6 sides of his or her meat cube wins the minigame. If you're thinking, how do players know when a side is finished cooking? When whichever side is down is done cooking, the Joy-Con will rumble, thus signaling the player to flip to a new side. Oh, that reminds me. Players can use the Joy-Con's motion controls to move the pan and allow them to move and flip the meat cube, which is a really nice touch, and makes this minigame feel all the more authentic. This minigame, for some reason, is just really fun, has a clever, unique, and funny concept, and makes great use of the motion controls. Although there is one downside. Every time I play this minigame, I seriously start craving steak. I'm just kidding. I can't hold something like that against a Mario Party minigame. Sizzling Stakes raises the stakes, so no one can claim 7th place. Time to go get me some Longhorn. Sixth place is 1v3 Off the Chain. All 4 players are in a small stadium, and the lone player is riding a chain chomp. You guessed it, the team must avoid the lone player. If the lone player can lead the chain chomp into all 3 team players before time runs out, he or she wins. But if at least one team player is still standing when time runs out, the team wins. Since chain chomps are quite fast, the team is pretty much screwed, right? Well, the chain chomp is fast, but so much that he can't turn fast enough to avoid hitting the wall, giving the team more time to evade. So, no, the playing field is completely level. This minigame is fun and very thrilling and intense, and the concept is original, and you know how much I respect that. Also, I can happily be either on the team or the lone player. Off the chain is so off the chain, man. Enough to earn number 6. Fifth place is 2v2 Dash and Dine. Each team is in a kitchen and will be instructed by Toad to bring in 3 foods. Doing so gives a team 1 point, and the first team to score 3 points wins the minigame. Sounds simple, huh? Well, there's more to it than this. There's a third Toad carrying a stack of plates, who, in addition to opponents, can get in the way and slow teams down if they run into him. Dude, why are you disrupting business? Manager, fire that guy! But anyway, this minigame is fun, requires teamwork, and actually, that's pretty much it. It's just fun and utilizes teamwork. Nothing special about the concept, but that doesn't matter. Dash and Dine is fun and teamworky enough to dash for 5th place and dine with it. Teamworky isn't a word. Yeah, well, neither is shut up. Fourth place is free-for-all Croozin for a Broozin. All 4 players are running through a field, with several bruisers chasing them. Bien sûr, they must run away from them, and any player who fails to do so and gets hit by them is eliminated. Bien sûr encore, le dernier joueur the last player standing is the winner. Sorry, that's not all there is to it. The field has obstacles, specifically walls, which players, if they choose the wrong path, will have to weave around, making it harder to avoid the bruisers. This minigame is fun and really thrilling and intense, with an epic and, once again, original concept. Man, is it me, or is Super Mario Party so respectable? It's also similar to Gridiron Gauntlet, but I prefer this one because it lasts longer and players have much more room to move around. You better not try and take 4th place from Croozin for a Broozin, otherwise you'll be cruising for a Broozin. Third place goes to team minigame Bumper Brawl. All 4 players and their allies are inside huge balls, don't laugh, and must charge power and run into their opponents. Why, you may ask? Well, to knock them out of the arena, of course. The team with the most players still standing when time expires, or when no opponents are left, wins the minigame. This minigame is basically a remake of Bumper Balls from Mario Party 1 and 2, but is, in my opinion, way better for a number of reasons. There are more players, the controls are smoother and more fun to use, and most of all, it doesn't always end in a tie! But anyway, this minigame is also extremely fun and can get really intense, and since it's based on an older minigame, the concept's not that special. But disregard that. Bumper Brawl is so fun and thrilling that it brawls for 3rd place, and wins. Running up is 1v3 Sign, Steal, Deliver. All players must collect packages from Toad and load them onto their delivery trucks. However, the team does so on foot, while the lone player does so with a remote-controlled drone, preemptively eliminating the thought of the team having an unfair advantage. Whichever side has loaded up the most packages on their truck when time expires wins. No, that's not all. There are some minor details that I must note. Call me meticulous if you want to. The lone player's drone is obviously much faster than the team player's, but to compensate for this, it can only hold 1 package at a time, whereas each team player can hold 2 at a time. Also, if you're wondering why the word steal is in this minigame's title, it's because the lone player can steal packages from team players. This minigame is extremely fun and has a very clever concept, and well, there is no and. Plain and simple, Sign, Steal, Deliver signs for 2nd place and doesn't need to steal or deliver it. Super Honorable Mention Party. 15th place is free-for-all, absent-minded. There's a board that'll display several Mario characters, and the players will be prompted to choose one that's absent, hence the name. The sooner a player does so, the more points he or she will score, and the highest scoring player after 3 rounds wins. This one's pretty fun and keeps players focused, and has quite a unique concept. 14th place is co-op minigame Isthmus Be the Way. Yes, that's really how you pronounce it, Isthmus. In this relay, each player must carry a firework bomb over to the next player, or in the anchor's case, the cannon, by walking across a long, narrow trail, doing his or her best not to fall off and get the bomb all the way to the cannon in the shortest time possible. This one is fun, thrilling, and a bit challenging, and requires teamwork, of course. Also, it reminds me a lot of Paths of Peril from Mario Party 4. 13th place is Rhythm minigame, Clearing the Table. All 4 players must score points by following the rhythm and pulling their tablecloth out from under several wine glasses and occasional thwomps at the right time. The better a player's timing, the more points he or she will score, and the highest scoring player at the end wins. This one has a clever and unique concept and requires good timing, which is something else I respect in a minigame. It also makes good use of the motion controls. 12th place is Team minigame, Hammer and Sic Em. All 4 players have a balloon tied to their head, and, using hammers, must try and pop their opponent's balloons with help from their allies. The last team with at least one intact balloon wins. This one is fun and thrilling, and with so many players competing at once, can get really intense. Sorry, that's it. Last but not least, 11th place is Duel Shell Shocked Deluxe. As implied by the name, this minigame is a remake of Shell Shocked from Mario Party 2. Each player has their own shell tank and must use it to shoot cannonballs at the other player. Doing so scores 1 point, and the player with the most points when time runs out wins. There are also obstacles like pipes and brick blocks. This minigame is, honestly, just fun, that's all. Oh, and despite being based on Shell Shocked, it actually reminds me more of Tanks-a-Lot from Mario Party Island Tour. Finally, number 1. It's a free-for-all, and is very similar to one of my favorite Mario Party 10 minigames. Go watch that video if you haven't already. It's none other than Slaparazzi. All 4 players are in a small arena, and each round, a Koopa Troopa with a camera will appear. The players must approach him and try to get in the center of the shot. The closer a player is to the center, the more points he or she will score when the picture is taken, and the highest scoring player after 7 rounds wins the minigame. Specifically, the most visible player scores 3 points, the second most visible scores 2, the second most obscure scores 1, and the most obscure scores nothing. I could tell you it's that simple, but if I did, I'd be lying. Players have the ability to punch opponents, making this a fighting minigame. That's right, they have to fight their way into the shot. Isn't that just such an epic concept? This minigame is extremely fun and thrilling, and has a clever, and again, epic concept. And like I said at the beginning, it reminds me of one of my favorite Mario Party 10 minigames, which is Flash Forward. Although I like that one a bit more than this one. But that doesn't matter. Here's what does matter. Slaparazzi is easily my number 1 favorite Super Mario Party minigame of all time. Unless you want to get slapped, don't try and change that. So there you have it, my top 10 favorite Super Mario Party minigames of all time. For more videos like this, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, please check out my social media. All links are in the description. A super thank you for watching. See you next time. Mikoro Glyscore 472, out.